As I'm sure you've heard by now, many are deciding to go keto or try to get their bodies to go through ketogenesis. You've probably heard that this is a great way to shed a few pounds or prepare for that summer body. So let's take a closer look at why so many people are jumping aboard and committing themselves to the ketogenic diet. What exactly does all of this mean? The ketogenic diet is a high-fat diet that includes moderate to low protein intake and severely restricted carbohydrate consumption. The purpose of this diet is to turn your body away from its main source of energy, the glucose from carbohydrates, and shift it towards a more lipid-focused metabolism. This means that the body begins to break down more fats for energy use in the form of ketone bodies. This allows for protein sparing or preservation of lean body mass, as the ketones are used rather than protein in muscle reserves. Thus, the idea behind this fad diet is that the individual is engaged in a partial fast rather than a full fast, and getting rid of fat by using it to fuel the body in the form of ketones. Now, before we dive deeper into whether this diet is actually healthy and sustainable, let's explore a hormone that the diet affects and its biological relationship to diet on a more general basis. Leptin. Leptin is a peptide hormone produced by adipocytes or fat cells. It helps to send signals about how much body fat a person has and serves to decrease food intake by increasing feelings of satiety. It does this by inhibiting the neuropeptide Y, a Gouty-related protein anabolic pathway, which is meant to increase food intake, and by stimulating the pro-opiomelanocortin and cocaine and amphetamine regulated transcript catabolic pathway that is meant to decrease food intake. When fat stores are high, leptin levels are also high. Thus, with the average person, energy expenditure tends to increase while food intake decreases. The opposite occurs when fat stores are lower. This would make leptin production decrease, in turn decreasing energy expenditure and increasing food intake. Therefore, in relation to one's diet, increased energy intake leading to obesity would mean leptin levels are also high due to fat stores. However, this is increased further when one with obesity develops leptin resistance. This is thought to be either a result of downregulation of leptin receptors in the hypothalamus or deactivation of leptin receptors as a result of the phosphorylation of serine or threonine instead of tyrosine. So now that we know what leptin is and how the ketogenic diet works, let us see how a low carbohydrate, low protein, high fat ketogenic diet impacts leptin levels. Based on what we now know about leptin, one can hypothesize that leptin levels will decrease with increased weight loss when consuming a ketogenic diet. To explore this relationship and answer our main question, let's take a look at some recent studies done on the subject. In an animal model study done on juvenile rodents, the effects of a ketogenic diet were observed in comparison to a standard diet and a calorie-restricted diet. The ketogenic diet was described as one in which the animals received 92% of their calories from fat, 3% from carbohydrates, and 5% from protein. Those on the standard diet received 12% of their calories from fat, 65% from carbohydrates, and 24% from protein. The animals on the calorie-restricted diet received a diet similar to that of the standard diet, but with 40% fewer calories in total. Additionally, they were given all of their calories to intake during a 2-hour period at 11 a.m. The results from this study were consistent with the known functions of leptin, showing that when a ketogenic diet is employed, weight gain is slowed, and serum leptin levels are higher than that of an individual on a standard diet. Although some similar effects in weight gain from the ketogenic diet were observed in the rodents on the calorie-restricted diet, leptin levels were different. The calorie-restricted diet displayed levels similar to that of the standard diet. This prompted further observation on the diets in rodents with leptin deficiencies and leptin receptor deficiencies. These experimental subjects, however, did not experience the same slowed weight gain on the ketogenic diet, despite high serum beta-hydroxybutyrate levels indicating ketosis. From this, researchers concluded that a functional leptin signaling system is essential for the ketogenic diet to slow weight gain. Furthermore, while results were generally extrapolated to humans, they are not typically agreeable to comparative human studies, nor do they indicate what happens to leptin levels after prolonged use of the ketogenic diet accompanied by weight loss. While the results from the animal study are more representative of a short-term leptin functioning during the use of a ketogenic diet, human studies seem more aligned with the long-term effects of the ketogenic diet, also oriented with the original hypothesis that leptin levels would decrease with increased weight loss. For instance, in a cross-sectional observational study performed on 72 subjects aged 3 to 9 years for the duration of 2 years maximum, the effect of the ketogenic diet on leptin, chemrin, and resistin levels were monitored in children with drug-resistant epilepsy. The study consisted of 3 groups: 24 children treated with the ketogenic diet, 26 treated with valproic acid, and a control of 22 children given no treatment at all. In reference to leptin, the researchers found that serum leptin levels were significantly lower than that displayed by the other groups. While varying results from other human studies suggest the decrease to be a result of methodological differences in the type of ketogenic diet used, the scientists also hypothesized it to have been caused by a loss of body mass, as both BMI and body mass were lower in the ketogenic diet treated group as opposed to the valproic acid treated group, which saw elevated leptin levels, increased appetite, and the development of obesity and insulin resistance, which is often seen in prediabetes as a result of obesity. According to much of the research, it is inconclusive how the ketogenic diet impacts leptin levels generally. However, consistent with the hypothesis, it seems that the diet may impede weight gain due to increased leptin levels, but with long-term use, it decreases leptin levels as weight loss increases. Therefore, it is not a healthy nor sustainable diet for the average individual to maintain. This further explains why it is just a fad diet.